Hi, this is Melanie Weller, and I wanted to talk about how social injustice lives in the body. I'm a physical therapist. My clinical expertise is in treating the vagus nerve as a pinched nerve, and your vagus nerve is your big stress and pleasure mediating pathway. It's also the bridge between our stories and our bodies. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys hold fear. In medical astrology, Libra rules the kidneys. And the kidneys are represented by a set of, Libra's symbol is a set of scales, and your kidneys sit in your low back very much like a set of scales. And Venus is all about love. And so your kidneys really hold the spectrum between love and fear. And at least in the United States, the populations with the highest levels of social injustice also have the highest levels of kidney disease: Native Americans and African Americans. It is my belief that the social injustice really gets embodied, and that it shows up in the kidneys. And I have treated, I treat these issues physically and energetically within the body in my patient population, and have for many, many years. And I really love helping people get to those spiritual and stress-related underpinnings of their physical dysfunction. And I do this not only for people with physical dysfunction, but for people in performance and leadership positions that are looking to amplify their influence, because your vagus nerve is the big influencer of the body. And so you can use my vagus nerve system on many, many levels and take the same physical compression points and tie them into leadership compression points and performance compression points and influence compression points. And so this, the kidney thing is really big, and we're seeing it play out on a big scale within our politics, that we're seeing the extremes in messaging between love and fear on the political spectrum. And I think it'll be really interesting to see if incidence of kidney disease and kidney issues change statistically in the next couple of years as this is getting out on a bigger scale. You can also treat story within the body, and you can really work on balancing this out for yourself. And as you do for yourself, it can ripple out for that. But we really are at a point that we need to take this up to the community and the institutional level, so that we have systems that organically make all of us healthier, that are set up to make us healthier. And this is part of what I've mapped out with the vagus nerve for leaders and governmental institutions and large businesses. And so I'm testing it in a few areas, and I'm really excited to see how the results play out. We have named corporations as people, and so we can treat them as such. And getting that balance between love and fear in the right place is so incredibly important. Too many people are living in fear and in a heightened state of fight or flight. And your vagus nerve is what brings all of that down. And beyond the fight and flight and social injustice issues, we have to really help people remember how to receive love. When I worked in home health in New Orleans, I was in some of the poorest neighborhoods in the city, and I don't have a traditional, I'm an outpatient orthopedic therapist with a lot of credentials. I'm not like your typical home health therapist. And so when I would go in and address patients' issues a little bit more like an orthopedic therapist, just because that was my background, and offer them help to get to alleviate their knee pain or alleviate their shoulder pain so that they could move better in their home. What was just most striking and incredibly heartbreaking to me was how they would look at me like I had 3 heads. They literally very often did not even know what to do with a practitioner that was offering them help in a way that they hadn't experienced previously. And so with this social injustice, we also, I believe it was the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks that said how much, African American people are loving the United States and how America is not loving them back. And part of that is really, you sometimes have to even reteach people like those receptors. I know that I've had to learn love receptors myself because of my own childhood and my own story that built around some things that happened that made me feel like my own parents were not coming, were not interacting with me from a place of love. I did not feel loved growing up, and that I really had to, I had to learn to reactivate my love receptors. And so it's a very complex and nuanced issue. And I think that we really need to think about this on a bigger scale and realize how much this lives in the bodies. It's really in our bodies, and that as we change these systems, that it will change how our institutions and our communities live in our bodies. We all have a physical expression of our internal narrative and an internal expression of our physical narrative. And one of those internal expressions of our physical narrative is kidney disease as a result of social injustice. If you want to reach out to me to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. My email is ask@melanieweiler.com. You can comment on this video as well, and I would love to be part of a solution for this on a bigger scale, and I'm going to elaborate more on that in my forthcoming book, which I anticipate having out before Christmas, out in early December of 2020. And I would love to open dialogue with anyone who's interested in talking through more of this. Thank you very much.